Hey, what's up everyone? This is Royalo with KittyBit.
And sashimi.
So today we are going to be talking about catching the new endemic life, the Molys, as you see here. Before we get started though, these guys do inhabit an end-game area that you have to have beaten the game and seen the end-game credits to access. So we're going to give you guys 5 seconds to listen to the Molys here, because their noise, the sound they make, is going to help you a lot with finding them. And during that time, if you guys haven't beaten the game, go ahead and beat it and then come back. Alright, now that you guys have heard a little bit of their sound, and hopefully we've got rid of all the folks who don't want to see this stuff and get it spoiled for them, we're going to start talking about the Molys themselves. If you're new to capturing the Molys, they need to be upright out of the ground like this, as you see. You want their heads to be upright and not ducked down into the ground. If they're ducked down into the ground, even though you can see them, you won't catch them. So you need their heads to be actually up. So, on the internet right now, as I'm making in this video, there are a lot of misconceptions going around the internet. A lot of the big sites actually have some, as they say, completed guides. They're incomplete right now. There's a lot of misinformation out there and a lot of incorrect, just wrong information as far as these guys and how to find them. So we're going to go over the misconceptions and everything as we go through the spots. Now, we've got footage as well to back up all that. So let's go ahead and get out to where these guys pop and let's cover their spots.
And don't forget to eat for Zoomaster before you go.
Yes, you do need to have Zoomaster. If you don't have Zoomaster, these guys are going to be really hard to find. If you don't have all the ingredients for Zoomaster and you need a little help with those, we'll have a video link down in the description for you guys.
And in the end cards.
Yep. So here we are in the Guiding Lands. Before we get going, just to give you guys a little bit of help with finding these guys, they pop in very specific spots. They are very fond of specific plants in each area that they pop. We're going to show you exactly which plant. It's important to note which plant because they congregate around each of these things that we're going to be showing you. They only show up in the one spot, so if you know exactly where they pop, you can get into kind of a habit of running from spot to spot and quickly identifying if they're there or not, because you know the exact area they're going to be in. So let's get to our first spot. We're going to go down to the Vale.
Alright, so these guys are going to be congregated around this ivy. And one of the common misconceptions that we've been seeing on the guides is that there's only 4 spots, but there are actually 8, and this is going to be spot number 1.
Yep. There they are. Alright, so moving from area 12, which is where our first Moly pop spot was at, you're going to pull a 180 degree and you will actually see this room here with this big gore pile in it. There's a Devil's Blight mushroom at the top. That's what they hang around. You can see them all in a straight line right here next to the bones. That is spot number 2.
Alright, number 3 is going to be in area 6 in the forest. And they're going to hang around this herb here. They're just having a meeting.
Yeah, it's like they're the dogs around that card table and that old piece of art. Now for area 4. Alright, if you just go up the ramp past the last Molys, you'll come to area 7. They're going to be hanging out past the area in the back where the wall comes down. You'll have to crouch under here. Be sure to have your ghillie mantle on before you crouch under here, because they're really close to this where you have to crawl through. And here's this spot. Alright, so while we're in the area, if you do come through there or come near any of the moles without your ghillie mantle on, there is a chance your cat could come and try to gather near them and scare them off like this. If your cat or you spook them though, they will come back up above ground. I missed him right there, but you can capture them after they come up.
Once you use your net though, all bets are off. They will not pop back up.
Yeah, so just be sure that you catch them while they come up. They only do this when you spook them. So if you get, like she said, if you do use their net, then they're gone.
Alright, this is spot number 5 in area 8. And they're going to be in a line over by this mite seed. You'll see here in a second. And a lot of the guides online say if there is a large monster in the area, they will be scared off or they won't pop. But this does not seem to be the case because that Diablos was just over there practically smelling them, and they're still hanging out there.
Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of like there. Maybe he's like their big brother or something.
Yeah, they are not bothered.
There
Just
they
chilling.
are. These guys, you want to be careful when you cast your net because you can end up getting the ants instead of them. It's kind of like a little bug or something. On to the next spot. Alright, spot number 6 is in the desert in Area 9. These guys are going to pop just down near the center next to the cacti down there. And as you can see, a large monster has passed by here recently too, judging by the footprints in the area. And in our last bit of footage to show that they really don't mind large critters being around, these guys didn't run away until I got nearby while we were fighting Glavenus.
Alright, here is spot 10, or I'm sorry, spot 7 in Area 10. And they're going to be way in the back around that honey spot. And you don't have to have your mantle on in order to see them. You can stand on this grass here and see if they're there. But he is going to jump down and they're going to be where he's standing here. Alright, so here he is, no mantle, they're not running. There they are in the spot, and you can see them. A lot of the guides say they won't pop when there's grimalkynes, gajas, palicos, what have you, but there they are, the grimalkyne are.
Yep, myth busted. Next spot. Alright, for spot number 8, the last one on our tour, it's in Area 11 of the Coral Highlands section of the Guiding Lands. They actually pop on this coral bridge that's right above my character. You can go up the vines on the far left or the far right. I go up the far left here. The far right is actually a bit quicker. When you get to the top, if you don't have your ghillie mantle, you can use your camera to spot them safely. If you got your ghillie, they're actually going to be right here in the middle of the bridge. And there you have it. That's all the spots they pop in. So let's go over everything real quick and watch these guys do a little run. Alright, so the last misconception we want to address is a major one. It's the time of day these guys pop. The internet is currently saying that it does not matter. It absolutely matters. After a week of farming these guys, we have found that sunset is definitely the time you want to farm them. That's their most consistent spawn period. For a quick reference of what time it is, just to the left of your life bar up there, you'll see a sun with a down arrow like it is on the screen right now. That's when you want to look for your moles.
They will rarely spawn outside of sunset, but sunset is the most reliable pop time. And as long as your hunter is in the area when sunset happens, they tend to hang around, so if you're not able to check at sunset, still check all your points because they are likely still there.
Yeah, and if they are not in one spot, you can actually check the other spot within a region. If they're not, like, there's 2 spots in each region. If they're not in one, check the other. And you do not need to leave the guided lands or the expedition as long as you keep Zoomaster up. Just stay away from town as long as Zoomaster's up. They can respawn the next day during sunset. Outside of that, let's go over everything one more time. Large monsters will not prevent these guys from spawning. They're actually far more afraid of hunters than the monsters. So if you see a large monster, throw on your ghillie mantle, go check anyway. And
yeah, don't skip that area. As well as if you see palicos, grimalkynes, gajas on your map, that does not mean that they are not there. Still check those spots.
Yep. And outside of that, that's pretty much it. There are the 8 pop spots instead of the 4 that are pretty much the only things being said on the internet right now. Outside of that, normally we don't ask folks to share our stuff, but right now we could see a lot of people wasting a lot of time based on the internet information right now.
I know we have.
Yeah, we wasted a ton of time on this. So if you know anyone that's after these rare endemic lives or any site that might benefit from this information, please feel free to share it and help keep folks from wasting a lot of time. Outside of that, if you're new to the channel, likes and subs are appreciated but not required. What we do ask for around here is that you consider, if it's within your means, adopting or rescuing an animal. ASPCA.org, petfinder.com, You can also Google your local animal rescue and adoption options. If you can't bring one home due to allergies, living conditions, what have you, there's other ways you can help out. What are those?
You can also go volunteer and still spend time with the guys, or you can donate money, old blankets, clothes. They can use all that kind of stuff.
Yep, so if you've got love to give, there's plenty of ways to give it, plenty of ways to show it, and plenty of animals out there who could use it. Speaking of love, we love you guys. Remember, buy your fun, not your fam. Adopt, don't shop. Good luck, hunters.
Happy hunting!